to How to Play the Trombone Part 2. We're going to get right into opening the case. It's really important we open the case the right way so that things don't fall out. Now, notice with trombone cases, there's a lot of different ones. So I'll do my best to kind of talk you through a little bit of it, but there are a lot of different things about trombone cases. This is my trombone case. It's old and it's beat up and it's duct taped together because it's old. So hopefully yours is newer than mine. But a couple things. Right here is a logo. The logo is usually on the top part of the case. If I look on the back side of this case, you see there's no logo on this side, only on this side. Okay, so that's usually a pretty good, this logo, not that's, this is a pretty good clue that this is the top. Okay, another clue is the handle is usually on the bottom half of the case. Okay, and then when you have latches, it depends on your latch, but these latches, they usually open, if it's just a switch latch, it opens down, leaving less things on the top of the case to flap around. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. What you'll do is leave this on the ground when you open it up. So I'm going to set it on the ground right now. So we'll open it from here, depending on your case. This particular case has just some little ways to secure the trombone in there so it doesn't fall out. And so you just move those things. I don't know if you can see that with the camera, but it has a little thing. You just move it out of the way so that you can move the things out. And I like to grab the slide first, and then I grab the main part of the trombone. So you have your slide, and you have the rest of the trombone. And you just set the trombone onto the slide portion. There's two spots. You'll see the one that's a little bit longer is where the trombone part goes. And it just goes on there. And when you put it on there, you want to make it look like a V. Okay? Maybe you can see better from this angle. Okay, so the V is here and here. Okay? And you don't want this too close to the bell, but close enough. And then you want, see how I haven't even tightened this down yet? And this is already tight. And the way you do that is you just kind of push it in and you just kind of twist it as you push it in. And that'll kind of hold it in there. And then when you tighten this part down, this is just to make sure that what you just twisted in there kind of holds in there. Okay, don't tighten this really tight. Just enough so that it stops turning, and it should be fine. And if it's not, then it's because you didn't put this part in right. So you put that in, twist it in there a little bit until it's kind of snug, and then tighten that down. I've had some students try and tighten that, use the screw part to keep this up, and they try and tighten it, and then eventually this gets stuck, and that's a pain. So once you get that done, you're going to grab your mouthpiece. You're going to put that in, and you're going to put this in the same exact way you put the other part of the trombone, and you just put it in and you just twist it a little bit until it's snug. And that's how you put it together. So all put together, this is the trombone. You've got your bell. You've got your tuning slide back here. And this little thing here is just a weight. It's kind of a counterbalance weight as you hold it up. So it doesn't all just keep tipping forward all the time. Helps you to hold it so it's flat. This here is what they call the water key. It's what helps if there's water in here, which we affectionately call spit. A lot of times we call it the spit valve, and that's really important. Up here is just a little spot that swivels, and that's called the slide lock. And that's so that you can turn it and then the slide won't come open. So when you're carrying it around the room, you're going from where you got it ready to your chair, from where you got it going to your chair, the slide isn't going to fall out and fall off. So that's the slide lock, of course your mouthpiece, and of course your slide. Your slide, if I take the slide lock off, slides out. Can come off if you go all the way out. I don't really want to do that right now, so just make sure you don't take it all the way off. Another important part of the trombone, as talking about the slide, is keeping it to slide well. And a couple of things you need to know about that. Number one, work really hard not to bump your slide. If you get a little ding in your slide, it'll make the slide not work as good. So be really careful with that part of it. Also, You can use some slide oil. There's lots of different brands and types. There's some slide grease, there's slide oil, there's all kinds of different products for it. Sometimes just a little bit of oil works really good, and it's really easy. All you do now, I'm going to open this, and I'm just going to set this bottom part on the ground so it doesn't come all the way off. And you just take your slide oil and just put a drop or two on each slide. Not a lot. You don't need a lot if your slide's working real well. And you don't need to do this every day. You only need to do this when it's needed. And so you put that on there, let it drip down a little bit, and then you get your slide, and your slide will start to help move that around. And it'll work really good. And then you'll be ready to play. Other than that, just keep in mind you want to make sure you're not playing your instrument after having eaten food. If you have lunch before band or something like that, just make sure you rinse your mouth out really good. If possible, brush your teeth before you play. Sometimes that's not always possible. It's kind of how school works sometimes, but if you can, that's really helpful for your trombone. And as long as you follow those guidelines, your trombone should stay fairly clean inside. Sometimes when you buy a trombone, or you might get a care kit, and it might come with like a snake. It's called a snake. It's just a brush with a wire on the end. And you'll think, oh, I'm just going to use that to clean it out. Most of the time, it's just best if you just don't worry about that. Because sometimes I've had kids get those things stuck or other problems they create. So I would just recommend just don't have food in your mouth when you play, and then have it cleaned once a year by a repair technician. And then your trombone will be great for years and years. So that's my recommendation. So once you've done that, practice getting it out, putting it together like that, and then just put it back away the way you got it out. Take your mouthpiece off just by twisting it. Now, if your mouthpiece gets stuck, that does happen from time to time. If you bop it or if you bump it on something, it'll get stuck and you won't be able to get it out. And the temptation is to grab it and just twist and wrench and pull and try and get it out, because a lot of times it won't fit in your case with the mouthpiece on it. So, and I would just tell you, don't do that. If you can't get it out, come see me, or if you're not in my class, you're a band director, and we typically have a device called a mouthpiece puller where we can put it on there and it'll pull it off without breaking it. If you wrench and twist it, you could break some of these solder points and start causing damage to your trombone. So just be careful. So you take your mouthpiece off, put it away in the spot that it goes. Then you unscrew this part here, and then just twist it to get it to come apart. Okay, just like you twisted it to put it on, you just kind of twist it, pull it apart, and then put the parts of the trombone back where they go in the case, always making sure to put them correctly in the case. If you put them incorrectly or you don't put things the right way, there's a chance you could damage your instrument, and that's no good. So you put those back, make sure everything's put where it goes so it'll be good, and you close it up and latch it, and then you can go on your way. I forgot to mention also, it's really helpful to have just a cloth handy and just have that in your case. There's a lot of blowing. There's sometimes liquid that gets inside there, and you empty it out, and it's just nice to have a cloth to wipe things up, to wipe your trombone down. I forget because my trombone's so old, I'm wiping it down and getting help it much. So, but yours will probably be newer and nicer and look nice, and so having a cloth handy is really helpful. I know a lot of kids that just get it with them and just leave it on their knee as they play, and then they have a cloth that they can wipe stuff down with and keep it nice and clean and good. So you want to practice 4 or 5 times getting your trombone out, putting it together all the right ways, and also taking it apart and putting it away. We want to be able to get to class and to get ready as quick as we can with still making sure our instrument is safe. And we want to make sure we can put it away quickly so we can get to our next class on time at the end of our band class. So practicing that a couple times will really help once we get to band and start doing that. So please do that. Join us on our next video, and we'll go into some more details on how to play the trombone, and we'll see you then.